Okay, what we're going to be doing now is just part 2 of this cam realignment where the cam slips in the wrong position. In part 1 you would have seen how we can pick the lock with a key in the other side and that technique to realign the cam. One other technique we can use, particularly useful obviously if you've got a lock that's extremely hard to pick or going to take too long, is to basically remove the plug a small amount until we free up this cam so we can realign the cam and then get the plug back in. Okay, just to explain what we're going to be doing in here and how this particular type of lock works. What I basically got here is just a lock that we snapped in half. Okay, and it just shows you what the lock looks like, and we've took away the cam and all the working parts. So we're literally just left with the lock case and the plug. What you'll see is how when I turn the key, how that plug turns. It's got 2 little notches just cut out the back of the plug here. Okay, because what actually sits in the back of the plug there first is a small little spacer bar. It's just a little bar in there that gets pushed through from each side, so that pops back in there like so. Okay, and you'll see what you'll see is as I move the key in and out, you see that moving in and out, and this is what allows this type of lock that is keyed from both sides just to operate one side at a time. And on top of that bar you've got a little split flywheel here. Okay, just to show you that, just like a little butterfly wheel. Okay, you can see how they work independently. Okay, and what happens is that basically sits in that groove and they just lock in to them little grooves at the back of the plug there. So you'll see if I turn the plug, how that little butterfly wheel, by the way is not a technical term, it's just what I call them because to me they look like a little bit like butterflies. Okay, you see how that turns, and if this was actually a lock as a whole, what we'd also have is the cam. You'll see how the cam, the hole there has got the same shape as these little butterfly wheels, which means I can insert that on top of them. And see how now when the key's in the lock I turn and the cam turns. And if I was to actually extract that key, what you'll see is how that butterfly wheel there drops down out the way, so it will disengage itself from the cam. So i.e. when I put a key in from the other side, from this side, that would then operate the cam. But when I remove the key, see how that drops. So the idea with this technique is going to be to disengage the cam, and the way that we're going to to disengage the cam from the butterfly wheel, and the way that we'll do that is to remove the C-clip. We're then going to extract the plug a small amount, because what that will do is literally allow that plug to drop down. You see how with the correct key in, the plug wants to come out, and by doing that, that will free itself from that butterfly wheel, which means I can turn it and attempt to realign the cam. Okay, I'm going to show you how we do that. And what I basically got here is a lock here where the cam's been slipped or misaligned. So the first thing to do is to move this little brass C-clip here, and on some of these locks you'll have spring steel. This particular one is mild steel, so where I open it to it will stay. I can get onto the opening with a little screwdriver here, but what it does, it just spins away from me, so it's very hard to get that off. But what I can use, a little tool that I've got here, which is literally a little C-clip removal tool. Okay, and this is designed for C-clips that don't actually spin on themselves like these ones, but I can use this little hook here, okay, to actually get onto the C-clip and pull the C-clip away, and that'll open it up. Okay, so that's the first job I need to do. So I'm just going to get onto this C-clip, just find the opening, just here, get that little hook in there, see how it wants to lock on, and I can start to pull that. Eventually, C-clip drops off if I can find it. Okay, and like I say, it is just, this one's just mild steel, just trying to find where it went. So it's going to open up and stay where I open it up to. Okay, so I've got the C-clip off there. Okay, so that's the C-clip removed. All I now need to do is to insert the correct key into the lock. like so. Okay, and you'll see now how that turns the plug, and also because I'm using the key from this side, just as you saw how the lock works, that operates the cam. So all I'm going to do is just hold the cam and then gently, with the plug on a slight turn, start to ease that plug away, just there. And what I'm doing, there's little back and forth movements until I feel it disengage from the cam, just there. So the cam's now free. See it just moving about all by itself. So what I'm going to do is put that cam back into the position it should be in. Gently push the plug back in, and you see how it just locks in there. And now that cam is back into its true position. Okay, so I'll just show you that once more. Disengage from the cam again to free that up. Just there. Okay, now this was the start position of our cam. So with that plug just slightly extracted, I just realign the cam back to the position it should be, which is just offset, not in the centre, just offset to one side. Then I gently, a few little tweaks, plug goes back in, and now that is the cam realigned. So now I take out the key. I just make sure that I don't just whip out the key, because the plug will want to come with it. So I just put my thumb on the plug, ease out the key, so that's now locked in. Now it's just a case to put that little C-clip back on. Okay, and what I'm going to do first is just make sure that's nice and flat, because when I took this off it's misshaped a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get that flat, give it a couple of bashes with a hammer, just a nice flat hammer there. Get this as flat as I can. Okay, so that's flat again. Now I'm just going to ease this back on. I'm just going to come in from one side. Make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. Okay, so that's the C-clip back in position there. And then all I'm going to do is squeeze that C-clip closed as much as I can first. Okay, and you see how it doesn't go all the way, so it's still a little bit loose there. Okay, but what I'm going to now do is just use a pair of C-clip pinchers, okay, which will allow me to get onto that C-clip and close that off. It's going to come in from this side. So I'm doing just using C-clip pliers to get onto that, squeeze shut. See how that's nicely back in position there. Just check it all works okay. Okay, you can see that's fine. Just check it from the other side. All realigned back to how it should be.